In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, you Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and a podcast. How are you doing? Yes, it's been a long time since I've heard from a podcast listener. Always good to hear from you if you are consuming this in your ears, if I'm doing it to you in your ears at the moment. And also lovely to hear from the late shift people. Have been hearing more from the late shift in recent times. So if you're watching this later on, if you're in the United States, for example, and this is a bit early for you, and you listen to the shenanigans a little bit later than when they are broadcast, i.e. right now live, say hi as well. 913-590-303 is my WhatsApp number, or comment in the YouTube chat as well. And I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. Some people like to lurk and view and voyeur, not in a bad way, and that's fine too. But it's always lovely to hear from you as well. And if you send a message over there, I can give you a shout out whilst we're live and in this condition as we are on this Wednesday morning, the 13th of November. Beautiful sunny day. The Verão de San Martinho continues. It is a late summer, looking like a late summer, which is causing some beautiful days in the bay here, which I was proud to show yesterday evening. Look at these sunsets that we're getting at the moment. That's at the highest part of the San Martinho Bay, looking back over the bay. Well, that's the Atlantic before it comes into the little scalloped-shaped bay of ours. And this is that scallop-shaped bay. I need to get my spirit level out, don't I, for some of these. Point of order, Chairman, as well. I did suggest yesterday that dinosaurs, brontosauruses, roam the earth still here in Portugal. It was a joke, just in case anyone is still worried about that and took it seriously. That is from a lovely day yesterday at the Lourinhã Dinosaur Park. And they've got a new Lego, or if you're American, Legos attraction next door that's just opened up. The young man there was telling me that a local Lourinhã man, or Lourinhense possibly, has sold his Lego collection of millions of blocks and pieces to the people who own the dinosaur park, and they've opened up Brickology or Brickopolis, something like that. Next door to the dinosaur park. So two things to go and see in Lourinhã, which is a fabulous place. You'll be hearing more about Lourinhã, I think, in the coming months and years. It's a really great place to consider if you are looking at the Silver Coast. Something I forgot to mention last night was that people moving to Portugal sometimes are a little bit worried about the food and the transport. We do have sushi here, don't worry. I'll see if I can find you some Portuguese Mexican food, but there's your Portuguese sushi, so nothing to worry about if you're a sushi fan. And this transportation thing, of course we have Uber, so calm yourselves, all is well here in Portugal. How are you this morning? Astrid, I hope will be joining us, and the wonderful Paul Rees as well, who wanted to talk about little homes with big value. So we'll be doing that with Paul when he joins us. Always an interesting chat, hanging out with Paul, who'll be with us in just a moment. Maybe Astrid didn't get the memo late last night because I was went out all day yesterday to Lourinhã to hang out with the dinosaurs. Anyone who's just tuned in, that's not a trip to the Algarve. That is Lourinhã. It was really fantastic, the dinosaur park. We were celebrating our youngest's birthday ahead of time because he wanted to go there. And then, yesterday evening, hanging out with a few of the Gumper community, talking about the possibility of moving to Portugal in 2025. And a very good evening it was too. So thanks to Anna, to Sarah, to Steve, to Vitor, Heather, and Antonio. And of course, you'll be able to see Heather here at around 9:30. We were able to hang out with her pug, Ophelia, who was gorgeous, delightful, who went into a catatonic state on her shoulder, and her little tongue was sticking out. It was fantastic. It was lovely to meet you, Ophelia. Ophelia may become as famous in this community as Gilda's dog, Mandela. Although we didn't talk at all about Mandela. Let's say a few hellos before we go to Paul. We might have Astrid interrupt us a little bit later on this morning. JP is here. Bon dia, everyone. Do something today for someone else. Very good, JP Porto. Sort of pay it forward. Is that what you're talking about? Stop thinking about and obsessing about yourself. Do something for others. How nice. Old guy, James. Bon dia, Gumpers. Feliz carta, todos como estão. And we're missing the God Squad. Oh, he's in the air. He's flying to Madeira. You'll have seen a lot of Madeira in the opening sequence this week. I'll come back to that probably later on in the week. It's a bit busy at the beginning, isn't it? And we settle down and maybe on Friday have a look at some of the little vignettes that you see in the opening sequence. Antonio Barbosa is back. Tony Time, man in the Mino. He is here. Great job last night, Antonio. Thank you very much indeed. Mike's here as well. Bon dia, Gumpers. And of course, a bon dia, Portugal from João Ernesto de Norte. This one, a lot of fellas this morning. It's a man cave this morning with the geezers all hanging out and chatting about Portugal this morning. I would never refer to the esteemed Paul Rees as a geezer. I will call him, what will I call him? A squire, I think. Let's chat with him now. Give him a nice big round of applause. Did you like that? La bon dia.
I love it.
Do you still get mail like that, Mr. P. Rees, MBE Esquire, or whatever, however many decorations you've got after your name?
MBE Esquire. Somebody referred to me as having it's funny how motor vehicles reflect our character, and mine is a venerable 20-year-old British Rover.
Venerable.
Somebody referred to it as the sort of car a country solicitor would drive. I rather like the sort of gentlemanly image.
There's two people getting out of that vehicle. One of them, I think, does have a sheepskin on. To be fair, is that fair? Sheepskin coat. So, yeah. Not just a sheepskin, but a sheepskin coat, obviously, not a caveman.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And the country solicitor, what would they have? Would they have a tweed suit on?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, traditionally, yes.
Yes, a tweed suit. Very practical, very warm.
Actually, my old UK solicitor, who's a friend from 40 years ago, the name of the company is Crane and Walton. And John Crane is, I think, the fourth generation. And I said once, what happened to Walton? And
that happens, doesn't it? That happens with solicitors' firms. These names carry on and no one knows who they are.
And his daughter's now joined it. And I said, what happened to Walton? He said, slight disagreement in the late 1800s.
But the name is still there, right?
Yeah, the name's still there. It's wonderful. Yes. Wonderful. Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, I digress. How are you?
I'm very well. Always lovely to catch up with you. A little bit of quaint Britishness, as it must seem to others. To us, it's just normal, of course. This was sent to me last night. This is entitled, I think, is Nothing Like the Joy of a Full English Breakfast. There's quite a lot of these AI images going around at the moment. I could eat one of those plates, probably not all of them, but there you go. There's another view of Britishness. The funny thing about this one is all the tables behind them doing the same thing. I don't know which. It's amazing, isn't it? I think they've loaded themselves up at the buffet there. To answer your question, yes, I'm great. At Lorigna yesterday at the dinosaur park. This is the weather we're having at the moment in November in Portugal. And I'm imagining you're having some lovely days in Central as well, Paul.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I think it's my favourite time of year.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
And just the light and the colours. It's the best time, actually.
It really is, isn't it? And not a lot of people know that. I think people just assume it's about summer all the way here in Portugal. But it's really when you get the different angles and the different light. And last night, I saw what I'm told is one of those ice crystal halos around the moon as well. That was pretty special last night. So you get these differences in the sky, aren't you, at the moment?
They say you should have more water with it.
There's probably some truth in that. Thank you for the health advice. Oh, Astrid's with us now. Should we have a quick chat with Astrid? And then we'll come back to your wonderful suggestion, which is little houses, big value, which I love as a phrase there. So let's have Astrid join us on the screen because we're talking about connected issues. We're talking about borrowing money, actually, for financing homes here in Portugal. So let's give her a round of applause. And have her on the screen with us. Hola, bon dia. Got a rapturous applause.
Bon dia. Good morning.
How are you?
How are you?
How are you? I'm very well, thank you. Let's have a weather
well,
report
thank
as
you.
well, if we may. It's looking lovely in Central, and the same here in Silver Coast. What about you, Astrid, in Kashkash?
It's clear, but it's chilly. It's the coldest morning so far, I think. So yeah, the girls went to school all rugged up today. Looking forward to the change in temperature. So it's chilly here today.
It is that time, isn't it? Which is a little bit challenging in the morning and the evening, but it does give way to. You could be thinking you're still in the summer at midday, and of course there's the meme, the Portuguese meme, which is all about that. That's what we're talking about, isn't it? 7 o'clock. It can feel like the gentleman on the left, and certainly by 2:30 you can be enjoying a bit of that as well, but not at 5:30 when you're back in the condition of the first gentleman. Right, what's going on at EPHQ? An important one tomorrow night. Borrowing money to buy a house here in Portugal, right?
No, tomorrow night is mortgages in Portugal.
Isn't that the same thing? Borrowing money?
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I should perhaps be a little plainer and not so flowery with my descriptions of what's going on. So mortgage special then tomorrow evening at
mortgage special. So we've got Jeremy from JK Mortgages is our special guest and going to I guess answer questions about obtaining a mortgage here in Portugal, especially as a non-resident, what you need to do, how much you can borrow, what's the eldest age that you can be, obviously talking about taxes and insurances that need to come with that. So yes, it's going to be encompassing subject. So yes, it should be a good one. And he also after mortgages in Spain too. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so anyone wanting to borrow in an Iberian manner, I'm being flowery again.
Yes.
Portugal or Spain. Jeremy can do that, and without wanting to objectify him, he is rather easy on the eye as well, isn't he? He's a handsome devil, very well put together. Yes.
I didn't think it's Carl.
What? No, it's just a fact. As you'll see if you join us at 7th. I'm blushing now. Not a man crush, honestly. I just, one notices these things, right, Paul? Oh, help me out.
Yes. It's not difficult to speak him. He is very handsome.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I will have to raise my game tomorrow evening as I chair and host that discussion. And the Dream Team, they're talking of chairing and hosting. The Dream Team at 9. He may hang around for some more chat with that panel discussion as well, which is fabulous. Gets better and better. The action figures, the Hollywood deal, the Dream Team from a Thursday night. It's the rock and roll of migration to Portugal. Anything else that you want to share with us from Expats Portugal, Astrid?
We've confirmed the date for our next meetup, which is going to be the 8th of February. So please cross that out in your diary that you're going to be busy for that weekend. I'm hoping to have the time to be able to put that up on the calendar today. So we're off to Batalha for a cultural weekend with Philomena, who's going to do a guided tour of Batalha and the monastery there. So, and then we've got drinks and dinner, and you can stay overnight in this most quaint hotel. So, yeah, really looking forward to that one. So it should be good.
Very good. Batalha, I'm sorry, what was the date of that? Could you remind me? I'm going to write it down.
The 8th of February. So you have to come this time, Carl.
I will do my utmost best. I'm looking forward to that. And I love Batalha. You're driving along whatever that road is, and suddenly there's a massive monastery that you look like you're going to crash into. They built it in such a way that you look like you're going to drive through the monastery and have a blessing. But
I've never been there, so I'm
you're gonna have a great time at Batalha, as is anyone who joins us for that. So people will need to register for that, will they? Come onto the Expats Portugal website once that's up there and register. That's official now, because we got in trouble for exposing the destination with Jerry, didn't we, at first? But it's all official now. It's all official. Thank you, Astrid, for being here with us. Have a lovely day, and I shall see you tomorrow with Jeremy at 7:30. Okay, all right, all the best.
Thank you. Bye, Carl. Bye
for now. I'm a bit embarrassed, quite honestly, Paul. I mean, is it a bit? What's the word? Is it a bit non-you to comment on the gentleman's appearance in that way?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I'll move on then. There's a good cutting shop in Battaglia.
Interesting, Battaglia. Let's
Yes.
move to that.
Let's move on. Yes.
Briefly. The nationality of the person in charge of the building works in Battaglia was a Welshman.
Seriously? When are we talking about?
Well, he did a full week.
Which is unlike the Welsh. Let's be honest. No, only joking.
When Battaglia was built for the sons of Queen Philippa, wasn't it?
It commemorates. Is it Afonso who's commemorated? This is a really big. It's a gaping hole in my.
It is a gaping hole. Look it up quickly. I think it was for.
I am. You know me so well.
It was the sons of Philippa of Lancaster.
You're amazing. The monastery of Battaglia is a Dominican convent in the municipality of Battaglia, historical Beira Litoral province in the centro of Portugal originally, and officially known as the Monastery of St. Mary and a victory. There you go. It's a victory trophy. Yeah. It's a trophy monastery. It was in commemoration of the 1385 Battle of Aljubarrota, just down the road, and would serve as the burial church of the 15th century Avish dynasty of Portuguese royalty. It is one of the best and original examples of the late flamboyant Gothic architecture in Portugal. And the Welshman was probably like, I can't bear it, all these plain chapels here. I need to go over to Portugal and help them out with their flamboyant Gothic architecture, intermingled with a touch of Manueline style as well. The monastery is a historic and cultural monument and is now listed as the UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it is fulfilling the promise of King John I, João I of Portugal. The battle that it commemorates put an end to the 1383-1385 crisis, they're calling it there. So it's very interesting. Portuguese architect Afonso Domingues' work began there in 1386 under his control. And then a Welsh chap came to help, right? What, like as the clerk of works?
No, I think he was in charge of the stonemasonry.
That's incredible, isn't it? What a job to have in those days.
Yeah, I saw that when I was there. I noticed part of the chapel isn't finished as well, which I wouldn't like to link the two in terms of the work ethic from our Celtic friends.
Worryingly here. The earthquake of 1755 did some damage to that in Battaglia, all the way inland. But I suppose it is a massive stone and inflexible structure that any tremor would challenge in a way.
Indeed.
Yeah. Incredible. I remember that battle well, says the old guy.
I remember that. I remember the earthquake.
Yeah, the Castilians gave us quite a time of it until the old baker stepped in and helped us and smacked them all with her baking shovel. Very interesting little tangent there, Battaglia.
Yes, I digress. Yes,
no, it's absolutely fine. This program is all about the love and wonder of Portugal, and that fits perfectly, unlike some of my other content this morning, into that context. So thank you very much for that. And today you wanted to talk about little properties, central Portugal. This great value that you can get. What's on your mind about that?
Well, occasionally opportunities crop up.
Yes.
And instead of doing endless due diligence and area analysis and price per square meter, I just see things that I like and purchase either with an investor or with company money. That's a good example, the one you got there, which is but 6 kilometers from Figueira das Vinhas, and it's an old farmhouse actually. It's a bodega downstairs and accommodation upstairs, and it's just great value. I've had a lot of interest and people looking to buy and do something up themselves, obviously contracting in plumbers and electricians, etc., and looking for a good old honest solid stone 4 walls with which they can work. And I think people are becoming more realistic in terms of price. You can't do it for nothing.
Yes.
Those days are gone. But working with the councils here, if you need to have a project, they're very willing to have these old buildings re-inhabited Yeah, this one's got water, electricity. It's got 1,000 meters of land.
Steel, isn't it? It's an absolute.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's 40 grand. It's whatever I put it on for, 42,000. It's got olive trees, and the walk from there is down to the Boussau Reservoir, which isn't. It's not a touristy one like Cabril. But it's just a really pleasant area, and yet you're less than 10 minutes to town. So,
and did you just chance upon it? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, well, one of the agents actually messaged me to say that I'd seen this before online, and I had a message that the seller had suddenly become highly motivated.
That's brassic. Okay.
Which means desperate. So putting in a ridiculous offer and walking away from it, found that it was accepted, which is fine. No, this one will either sell it now if somebody has the interest to do it, and we can certainly help with contacts on that if people need to know good roofers or whatever in that area, or we'll as a company develop it, but probably not till this time next year or late summer next year.
So it's available if somebody wants to pick it up in pretty much that condition.
Yeah, they can have it as is. I've done nothing to it apart from make sure it's safe. So
incredible.
Yeah. So that's it is. It's kind of too good to miss. I hate for it to sit there languishing at what I found out was an unrealistic price before. So
yes, yeah.
It's
the roof picture. Have you started some work on it then? Because you sent me another picture as well. Is this a
different house?
Oh, okay, all right. So we've got others to talk about, but I'm quite obsessed by this one now momentarily, and this interior here. Do you still get excited when you walk into one of these old properties to see how they've done and what's been left behind?
Yeah, definitely, because I like the things there. There's some lovely old pots.
Well, there they are. I saw those immediately. Amphora, right?
Was a bigger,
would have been made in.
There was a slightly larger collection, so the ones with handles have now gone. But no, I always look for newspaper, and the youngest newspaper I found here was 1986.
Wow!
So there's definitely been somebody there then. Probably nobody since, judging by the.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and some of it's sort of romantic and wistful, and how people used to live, and the rest of it is, it's sat here for that long. It's like being in limbo, and it needs to go to heaven or hell, really. And
the Archbishop of Canterbury job's available, Paul.
Apparently it is, yeah. But you have to be invited. I'm waiting for the.
Oh, call. I see. Right, okay. You were leaning into it there, though. I have to say.
What can I say?
This is fabulous, and it looks like, as sometimes happens, the animals have made themselves at home here as well, haven't they? In the absence of human beings too.
Oh, those, definitely cases of nesting. Oh. But I just look at the 4 square walls.
Yes,
and it's actually this one has got an established outbuilding that's not registered, so you can. The registered area, I think, is 42 square meters, but in fact, there's an awful lot more. But I'm not going to register it because you can do that when you buy it.
This is incredible. This is a Hitchhiker's Guide house, isn't it? 42 square meters. That is the answer to every question, isn't it? It's 42. And it's certainly when it comes to this home.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Folks can get in touch with you about that one, and we'll stay with this incredible value and these charming homes here. What can you tell us about this one?
Yeah, well, this is a village next to Castanheira de Pera.
Okay, heading over that way.
Yeah, famous for its massive summertime water beach, where half of Lisbon seems to drive up.
Is that who goes there? Because I did wonder. It is 2 months of the year, it's jam-packed, isn't it? The rest of the year, it looks like, what happened here? It looks like a sort of zombie apocalypse movie, doesn't it?
The tide goes out. They pull the plug, and it just reverts to a river, I think. I would say it's 99% Portuguese day trippers and people looking for accommodation there and going for a week. And it's a great. Not only is it refreshing to swim in a river beach, it's kind of a party venue as well. It's a lot of the same age kids go there and they hang out. It's turns the town into something of very different character for 3 months of the year. So that's interesting. Yeah. There's a huge pressure on cheap overnight accommodation. and this small cottage is in a village called Fontau, which is almost attached to Castanera. And if someone buys it, I mean, it's 20 grand. If someone buys it, so they can turn it into a letting and earn good money from it. It's got 8,500 euros worth of work's been done on it already in terms of the roof. So it needs insulating, wiring, everything's there. You can link it to mains water, mains sewage. It's got electricity in the street. And it's 20 grand. You know, you'd probably spend another 10 on it. And then you've got something you can let for good money nightly. And you can walk from there. You can walk into Castanera. So it's pretty, you know, the point is you're not having to spend a huge chunk of capital to get a return. You can be adept. And if you can do a bit of work and leave things in a rustic state, but still habitable, you know, comfortable. Look at the younger market in that area, and it's, you know, it's 40, 50 quid a night. Throw your rucksack in the corner, crash out, have a few beers, stay the week.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing
stay
wrong
the week, move on. You know, it's good affordable stuff. And from the landlord's point of view, you're not putting equipment in a fancier villa or apartment and fretting that somebody's going to throw up in your microwave, you know.
And other such Airbnb disasters,
which was a complaint once. Somebody wanted to know who they could complain to.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Maybe someone left something in the microwave for too long. Maybe it isn't what they thought. But
it could have been,
You've answered a question that people didn't know they had there, which is, you know, this is incredible value, this sort of place, the other one that we put on the screen. Okay, so you buy that, but then what do you do with it? And the passerby who doesn't know Portugal very well wouldn't know, would they? In Castanera de Pera, for example, there's a massive demand at certain times of year. And actually, once these places get better known, the shoulder, as it's known in the hotel business or the tourism business, is going to extend, isn't it? And there's no reason why you wouldn't have people chucking their rucksacks in the corner, as you put it, from spring right through until now, possibly as a season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, with some, you need heating in these houses, not cooling, because the walls are nearly a meter thick.
Yeah.
I mean, off season, the beginning and the end of the season, Castanera it's actually going through a revival, I would say.
It seems so. Yes.
Yeah, it's coming out of its sleepy torpor, and they've just redone the old Camera Council building, which is now a thing of great beauty. In the lane behind it, there's one of the best bar restaurants in the area.
In Castanera itself, in the main town.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it's just behind the council. Highly recommended if you like dead animals to consume. I'm not sure they have a vegetarian option.
That kind of place.
Like that are an attraction in themselves. If you know there's 2 or 3 good restaurants in a town, and then you can do your bicycling or walking. You're surrounded by exceptional countryside. Yeah. So at either end of the season, the shoulder months, as you call it. I mean, in the south, it's filled by golfers who come in the spring and the autumn. In other areas, it's up to the owner to produce something mouth-watering for the autumn. You know, and people they never seem to change their pictures online when they're doing lettings. I mean, this time of year, it should be crackling log fires, chestnuts, and a glass of red wine. You know,
yes,
come for the romantic weekend. Look at the younger market. So it is interesting. These little houses tucked away. If you can make them snug, and by that I mean putting in a wood burner. You know, it's not rocket science. You can appeal to a whole different demographic.
I stayed in one and you know they have this. Pete's done a great job with the Pera Beer Festival, which is, you know, it will be in its 3rd year next year. I stayed at the delightful, I can't remember the name of it now, but I made a video of it. You know, down a little cobbled lane, so quiet, so peaceful by the river. and the owner there has made it very snug. It was Stefan. It's been handed over to a new lady now who understands the beauty of its retreat-like location.
Yeah.
And she's done a fantastic job. And yes, there could be so much of that. And then it becomes a trail, doesn't it? Then it becomes take your pick of these lovely places to stay in that lovely part of Portugal, which clearly seems to be going on at the moment. And it is, it is proper Portugal, isn't it? It is the place where you can. I was riding around on my bike and the car when I was there, and it's still the sort of place where old Portuguese folk go out and sun themselves at the bus stop or on the corner of the street, whilst like warming their bones. And there are shrines along the road and these little cafes that you talk about. It's really authentically Portuguese over there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, the tourist board, if you like, for the region. There's the Aldeias de Xisto, the stone villages that are loosely joined together, and there are beyond that. There are other villages that, in my opinion, would qualify in terms of attractiveness and location.
Totally agree.
And they're dotted around, and it's up to the business owners, the Airbnb owners, the letting owners, to promote and be intelligent about how you promote during the different seasons.
Well, that's a lovely insight you've given us, because that's in terms of investment and buying property in Portugal, that's a really great angle, isn't it? And also for people who want to visit and tour, that's a lovely thing they probably won't find on tourist guides.
Indeed. And if you can reduce your capital cost to as little as possible and have something attractive and functional,
yes,
and stop there. You don't need to put in central heating. You don't need to have all sorts of fancy equipment. There's a lot to be said for not roughing it for a few days, but moving from your city centre lifestyle to a bit of Portugal countryside. Where you hear the bread van in the morning and rush out in your underpants.
Can't wait.
Indeed, going back to the homoerotic theme you were developing earlier.
Yes, of course. It's never far away.
Never far away, as the bishop told me.
From the truth. Yes, right. Well, thank you so much for that little theme this morning. Casa Ribeira is the place where I stayed, and I'll put that link on the screen. And it gives you a really good idea. What I videoed as I came back from the beer festival and the next morning really sums up the magical atmosphere of those valleys there. Really great place to go. Really good subject to be talking about. And ruralproperties.com. Before Heather joins us, let's quickly have a look at your site then, Paul, because it's important that people know where to go to find out more. And lovely that you go, you go in luxurious high end, and then you'll say, oh, there's this available for 20 grand, or this available for 42,000 in central Portugal. So that's what you're looking at there, rural-properties.com. Anything else you want to bring to our attention before you leave?
Just the fact that Rural Properties isn't really an estate agent. I've got a mediation license, but I'm not pushing the individual properties. What I do want is people to invest in renovating properties with us. So the ones that you see there are things that we've bought with investors that we are developing into high-end properties.
Yes.
In fact, we've just in the process of selling a big one in Pedrógão Grande, the old tavern and hostel, to a lovely American who has his own ideas, his own plans, own layout, that we're working to make sure that happens and is absolutely perfect for his needs. So these things sometimes and annoyingly take a while to sell, but when we find a buyer, the sort of love gets shared around, and it's
absolutely
rather than finishing things and saying there it is.
Yes.
But they vary. I mean, it's lovely to work with somebody from, I wouldn't say the ground upwards, but from a shell to develop something that is really special. So,
as we can see there, Casa Adelina is now properly on the market at
Casa Adelina. Yeah, the Casa Adelina. We just we have now put in a beautiful wooden floor that's the skirting's going in today. So we're actually taking that to pretty much completed, but the buyer can still choose their kitchen and bathroom type, etc. But the central heating's being commissioned next week, so as we go on. But that's that particular house is in a town where I'd say house price inflation in the last year has justified taking a relaxed approach. But most estate agents would say, well, if you need to sell it, reduce the price. And only yesterday, I had a comment from an agent to say, it would be easy to say reduce the price, but that's not the answer. Let's look at this as a rental property. Yeah. Mm. So it's, the pricing is strong. Certainly in certain towns, it's outstripping the average. And Adelina is sat right in the middle of quite a bubble. So I'm very happy that it's being developed, that we're taking our time and doing it properly. And
for whatever reason, people should get over there to that part of central Portugal. It's fascinating. I drove over to Fundão the week before last, and we go through that part of the country, of course. Figueiras dos Vinhos, the other one that sounds like a Tommy Cooper town, Ferreira da Zazara. That I don't know if you can say it any better than that, Paul. But that one, all around there is amazing, beautiful, authentic, and really good to visit, whether you're planning to buy a property or not. But to see that aspect of Portugal is an absolute delight. So thank you.
Yeah, and buy to rent. People now are delighted in Lisbon to get 3.5%, 4%. You think, what sort of business is that? You might as well leave it in the bank.
In the bank, yes, indeed.
Okay, you got price inflation. You got inflation as well, but doing that as an in and out business is nonsense because you've got so many costs in buying and selling.
Indeed.
So it's fairly pointless. If you look at the capital cost around here, it's a fraction of the Algarve, Lisbon, and Porto, and yet the base rental level, you can't find anywhere to rent here anyway. In terms of long-term rental, and short-term rental is not going to dip but much below the national average. So you just need to reduce your capital expenditure, and this is exactly the right area to do it. So those little houses, 40,000, you look at the rental income over a year, all of a sudden you're into double figures in your return. So
very good. Check it out at rural-properties.com. We're meeting Shay, the African grey parrot, in just a moment. Of course, Heather's joining the parrot as well this morning too. We'll be talking to Heather too. Thank you, Paul. It might have been Portuguese's Welsh dad who was on the Battaglia project. He was actually in charge of vowels as well as stonemasonry. The mystery has been solved, I think, this morning. Lovely bits of history and Portuguese culture this morning. Thanks, Paul. Take care, and we'll see you again next month.
Bye, thank you.
Good day to you, sir.
Good day.
Right, so there goes Paul. Let's bring her on. She's waited long enough. Heather Binder, everybody.
Hello. Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Good fun last night.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you see? Yeah, absolutely. Can you see Shay okay?
I can.
See if she'll step up. She might. Come here.
What do you mean?
Oh, she wants me to pet her head.
Okay. So she's bowing her head for that purpose.
Yeah, birds, they're not dogs or cats, so they, she'll step up if she wants to.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay. So she'll do what she wants.
She just wants. Yeah, but she's goofy because this is how she likes affection. She doesn't like to sit on me. She likes to sit behind me and then make me
be
in awkward positions.
That is quite cat-like behavior, I've got to say. So
no, my cat sits right, like literally on me. So it depends on the cat.
Yeah. So does Ophelia the pug. I think this should be, whenever you're on the show, we should definitely meet the animals and find out how they're doing. Ophelia distinguished herself last night.
Yeah, she did. Now, my cat's going to have to come on next time because he's going to be jealous.
Of course. Now, I got pretty peeved with my cat for shredding up my office chair. It looks like that's part and parcel of having a parrot, right?
She has done a little bit here, and then the cat has worked on the lower part a little bit. But that's because it's vinyl, so they leave the leather alone, so that's good.
It's why we can't have nice things.
They better leave the leather alone. They're in trouble. They come messing with my leather.
Oh,
But,
and we're being spoken to as well. I love it. She's
what's that?
talking to us. She's talking
Oh
to
yeah,
us.
can you hear her? You can.
Yeah, definitely. I love those
Oh, good.
sounds and clicks.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
she does kisses. She says, "I love you." She says, "Go
Really?
lay down." When she wants to go to her night cage, she says she likes my husband's voice, so she'll do Kevin's voice. You gonna make her bop? Kevin, make her bop. Yeah,
Kevin is standing by as well. Good morning, Kevin. Oh, look. What is that? Are they dancing
That
together?
is like, "Hi, Daddy, I like you a lot." Yeah.
Oh.
She does all sorts of interesting little things. Are you the head bobber? She's up earlier than usual. Come here.
And the little things flying around the room, are they feathers? Are we seeing feathers flying
Yeah, there
around?
might be little. Yeah, so she's she's an African gray Congo, and like a cockatoo, certain types of birds have a powder that they kind of emit, and other people can explain this better than me, but basically she omits like a powder, which you don't see per se, but it can be we see when we're on webinars and things like that in my house.
The powder, the parrot powder, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's just I don't really see it or notice it, but you can see it on camera sometimes.
The light picks it up. I see. I like a cockatoo,
Yeah.
which fits in with the theme of some of the themes this morning. We were paying €800 per month in Nazaré. Bought our villa in central Portugal for 12 grand. It's a no-brainer. The trick is to buy a box.
Grand. Wow.
We
That's
what?
a box.
It is.
Buy a box, spend a year ripping out.
Yeah, buy a bare box and do it up slowly, which is what he's done. And this is his. This is the Portuguese. Nice to see you, Tony. This morning we bought an old villa, a shell. I put it in an on-demand boiler. Oh, that's a geyser. That's a geyser for the Portuguese there. Wired in some plugs and lights. Bought a wood burner. Put in a Leroy Merlin kitchen. Job done, mate. IKEA delivered it.
Or you could buy in that same area of town, which I think the word you were trying to say was like Alviazra or Zezer, like Ferre de Zezer. Yeah, so Alviazra, that's where I have that piece of land that's urban, ready to build on. So that's another option if you don't want to go into the shell of a building and you just want a little piece of land where you can build a cute little house with a pretty view in a lovely part of central Portugal. 20 minutes from Tomar, 40 minutes from Coimbra. So yeah,
it's not everyone's cup of tea. It has to be said. I mean, you're doing the work yourself. Portuguese obviously has those.
Well, I wouldn't do the work myself. That's where you hire, an architect and a builder and have it done. Certainly, but I guess you could do it yourself. That's another option.
Not for the faint-hearted. Not for the faint-hearted. He says it so blithely there, doesn't he? Oh, I just put a boiler in. It's not everyone can do that, Portuguese. You're a lucky man having those skills.
Yeah, it sounds really easy, but I didn't do that, as you might be able to tell. So yeah, there's different paths. Different people have different solutions that work for them. For sure.
Excellent.
But that's the nice thing is we have all those options available. So that's good.
Thank you very much for being there last night on our little mini webinarette. You've got one coming up yourself, which we should talk about. But interest has spiked again, obviously, here in Portugal. Your diary is getting fuller. What's going on? Would you say what's happening at the moment? How would you characterize it?
I think some people are panicking that need to kind of maybe calm down a little bit, and some people have just been looking into Portugal or looking into moving abroad, or thinking about where they can retire or move or whatnot. And so, oh look, she's clapping for us. Thank you.
That's nice. Thank you.
Hi, baby. You want to come here? There we go. She's gonna.
Hey,
and so she's nervous, so she'll chew her nail. It's okay. No. You can stay up here.
That's like the what's that movie? Austin Powers sort of gesture, isn't it?
Yeah, she literally does. That's her nervous tick. But oh well. You're okay. It's not the camera. She's just a little goofy.
Lovely.
Yeah, she's a rescue. Where do you want to be? What about you want to sit on me? Maybe we'll do that for a minute. No, Perfect. She wants her chair. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So I think a lot of people just are in fact finding, and looking to find out more information as usual, but I think that that's certainly increased pretty significantly over the last short term here. And, you know, that's one of the reasons I'm going to do the webinar. Usually I talk to people one-on-one, which certainly I still do. But I thought, you know, a webinar might be just a good way to answer a lot of people's questions at one time, or maybe people that don't feel ready to have a one-on-one or whatever it may be. So, or just a good introduction to me and some of my trusted partners that will be on there with me. And yeah, it'll be good. So if anyone's interested in getting an invite, they can send me an email, Heather and then bootsonthegroundpt.com. So just shoot an email with your name and your email address, and I'll be glad to invite you. We haven't set the date yet, but it should be in the next upcoming few weeks here, or a week or two, something like that. So yeah, definitely we'll get that together.
Very good. And
she just said June, by the way.
Why is
yoing.
that?
She just said yoing too. She's talking.
Okay. How do parrots develop their vocabulary? I mean, presumably she's come up with some of her own words, but are you repeating things and then she's learning from you?
Yes, except for, well, not me. It's more my husband, or sometimes it's me. Like June, she just said, "Go lay down." June. I had a dog named Junebug for about 15 years. And so June is, she knows the dog's name. So she'll do that. And then go lay down was something we used to tell one of our pugs all the time. Go lay down, Frodo, go lay down. And Frodo. So he was one of those like antsy scratch, turning 80 circles dog, you know?
Yes.
And so we would say that a lot. And so she picked that up. And just a lot of noises, and I'll reflect those back to her. And she said yoing, which is a made-up word that my husband came up with years ago. He tricked me. He told me it was Icelandic for June, my dog, and it's not. But he taught her. She said June again. Yeah,
we do need Kevin on.
She says it fast. Monday. You see how she said June? Yeah, okay. Kevin can come on. Anyways, she's a repeater of things.
Right. Now I'm seeing a trend, and I think this is something to do with Americans moving to Portugal. I'm seeing people taking their parrots and cats to cafes. Now, it's not that often that you see someone take their dog to a cafe, really. You know, dogs stay at home, generally speaking, in the Portuguese culture, don't they? They're not walked about and promenaded. That's changing for sure. And certainly, you know, you see that in Lisbon and Caparica and so on. But
have you seen a big blue and gold macaw named Blueberry? Did you meet Blueberry recently?
Think so. I was at Celia de Porto, and it cuts a dash, doesn't it? When someone walks in with a parrot on their shoulder.
It's sort of, yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
That's my friend Tatiana, if you saw her, and Blueberry. And yeah, she lives in Nadaduro area now. And she'll take Blueberry to the beach and different areas like that. And that's nice. Now, Shay would never be caught dead doing anything like that.
Because she's a shyer bird.
Yeah, exactly. She came as a rescue, which isn't really it, but it's just African greys are a little bit, they're like the nervous nillies of the bird world. So they're like, oh no, I just want my cage. Well, at least she is. Now, my friend has 2 African greys, and they actually will come out and do more stuff. So it just depends on how they've been raised and their personalities, I guess, too.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah. And cats in bags being taken to the cafe or the supermarket. I was stood in my supermarket about a year ago, and I thought, oh, that little girl's got an interesting backpack on, and there's a bloody cat looking out.
Oh, yeah. I have one of those backpacks, but my cat is like, hell no. Yeah, it's got the like plexi front.
A portal. Yeah. So what's the deal with that? Why do cats like that? I mean, these are habits that we're not used to. I'm not used to. Are we going to see more of it?
It just depends on the cat. Like I have some friends who they started walking their kitten in the park on a harness from a very young age. And so if the cat gets used to it, but again, all my animals are rescues, so they kind of come a little conditioned with whatever. And my cat would just be like, what are you doing? Like, no. Yeah. You
no,
know,
I'm not
so
doing this. No.
yeah.
No, just no.
Yeah, no, just no. Now, Ophelia, the pug, she wants to go everywhere. So she is happy to come to the beach, happy to come to the cafe, happy to go to the park, you know, yeah. So I can bring her out. But the other ones, they're like, we'll just stay home and chill.
I've got a feeling we're going to see more of it. And it's definitely an American thing. Not everyone knows, but it's against international law to walk around with your parrot on your shoulder without talking like a pirate, apparently. So feel free. I'm sure, but as a parrot owner, it must get a little bit tired, mustn't it, with people coming up to you and thinking they're being really funny by saying, you know, hi, bon dia, you scurvy dog. It's not, you know, hi, yeah, very funny, very good. First, what do you think? Do you respond well to that?
Well, I don't take her out. It's been a long time since I had a bird I would take out. Yes. So I don't have as much experience with that. You'd have to ask her. But yeah, if you ever want a special guest, she's probably happy to do it normally and come on with. She has quite a few birds. So this
is another thing.
Interesting
as well.
Visitor.
Yeah, we got friends. The Global Nobles have got a fabulous dog who's Starbuck is very happy to be in a little travel bag. And that's becoming more popular as well. The Portuguese restaurateurs who we met were like, well, yeah, okay. I've not seen that before, but yeah, if that dog's going to be in, we didn't know Starbuck was there in the bag, frankly. He's so good and so used to it. Yeah, we have a backpack for our little dog, very useful for travel. We're going to see more of this as well. And I think dogs are a little more cooperative in this matter, right? They can be trained.
They tend to be, you know, more their natural instinct, you know, being sort of hoes of the animal world where they're your best friend and they're right on you and, you know, that sort of thing. So they're much more attuned to that. Cats a little more independent and parrots as well.
Well, there's a guy in San Martino de Porto who's got 2 dogs and he certainly has one of them on a backpack and it's like a baby carrier. So the dog is put into a cuddling position on his back. Now I'm thinking, a dog's good with that. But if a cat got pissed off, pardon my French, with scooting down the promenade, it's just going to put its claws in your face, isn't it? Go, okay, I've had enough now, and you're going to go clattering across the street because you go, my eyes, and you know this cat's on your back on a scooter. So I'm not going to recommend that.
I would definitely not recommend the cat in a backpack. No.
Okay. When we lived in Sweden, it was pretty common to walk cats on leads, but even Swedish cats hate. Even Swedish cats. Hilarious to see people dragging their cats and walking with their cats wrapped around their faces. There you go. Dogs are much more tolerant than cats. Okay, actually, a bit of pet politics this morning. Well, thank you very much for bringing Shay. I hope we can meet Ophelia next time, and you know maybe you can always.
I can bring that. She was. Remember how good she was last night?
Yeah.
Because she probably won't be that good.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good fun as well. That's good fun as well.
Yeah, she can come. We have 3 pugs, and we have a little stroller that we got from some friends of ours who passed it on to us, so we can take the little senior one to the park and throw them in there, and then we have the other 2, and we kind of rotate them around, and that works nice. So,
it must be very fascinating to be a Portuguese person seeing these pet antics that the foreigners are bringing over. We are changing things a little bit.
You know what? If you're walking down the street with the same animal in the U.S., people would freak out, just, you know, excited. Here, people are very reserved. So we don't get people coming up to pet her and that sort of thing like we would in the U.S. It's
well, you know what the phrase is. We discovered what the phrase is for that. May I make in Portuguese? It's like when I make a party on your dog. Is may I pet your dog? So be ready for that, pet owners. If you've got a cute pet, some Portuguese people will break ranks and want to make a party on your pet. Let's have a look at this weather then. Isn't it fantastic, Heather? The weather at the moment. We've definitely got a St. Martin summer.
It's
pleasant
weather. It was gorgeous yesterday and looks nice out today. So
however,
I'm enjoying that.
We've got a gota fria coming our way, pleasant weather to be replaced by cold and rain. Portugal's pleasant summer of St. Martin, a period of warm weather in November, usually associated with the legend of St. Martin, is going to, as well as the chestnuts and the jarapiga, of course, which we talked about last week, is going to make way for cold and rainy weather starting on Wednesday, according to IPMA. The worsening weather, that's today, isn't it? Looks all right for the time being. The worsening weather is due to a phenomenon called gota fria, or cold drop. Nobody likes a cold drop first thing in the morning. The Portuguese Institute for Sea and Atmosphere, the IPMA, has issued a warning for possible thunderstorms and strong winds. And nobody likes strong winds first thing in the morning either. In high altitude areas with potential snowfall. Oh, snow possibly then in the Estrelas.
No,
yes.
not here.
Oh, no, not here, up in the Estrelas range.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a good time for a webinar on how to learn more about moving to Portugal. It's going to be all crummy outside.
We could have our own song, couldn't we? The weather outside is frightful. Come on, have a webinar, which will be delightful. Okay.
No singing for me. I'm going to leave the singing to you.
Okay, be like that. Temperatures are also due to plummet several degrees. No! With maximums ranging between 16 and 21 on Thursday and minimums between 2 and 10. Still not too shabby. Come on. In other words, the summer of St. Martin, which graced Portugal yet again, is coming to an end. Legend has it that the phenomenon is linked to St. Martin, who is believed to have stopped during a storm to offer half of his cloak to a beggar during a rainstorm. Similar tales from other parts of Europe refer to a snowstorm. After this, the rainstorm stopped and the sun started shining. So if you are wandering about with a cape on today, cape on for dinner, sir, you can, as JP suggested earlier on, do something nice for somebody else. Slash your cape in half and give it to someone less fortunate than yourself. As one serving suggestion, as JP put it, do something today for someone else. That's a really nice idea there. We've got a not serious deep thought here, not so serious deep thought. The older I get, says João Ernesto, the more I'm aware that the people I meet, the places I go, the experiences I have could be the last time. Oh, that's quite a serious thought, actually. That is deep, John. Each moment should be appreciated with more wonder. Fair enough. I had a similar thought yesterday. It is true, isn't it? I don't know what age that comes in, but it is true. Thank you for that, John. And it is a good opportunity to practice a gratitude, isn't it? Being grateful for these experiences rather than taking them for granted in any way. Come on, Heather. Let's do a God Squad tip of the day together. Bon dia todos. Bit late on parade due to travel. Currently at Gatwick with time to kill, heading out to Madeira. Hope you have a lovely time in Madeira, Coach Turner. I've got some of your car footage in the closing sequence that you might enjoy. God Squad tip of the day then today. Another simple lying down exercise. This is the sort of stuff we like. Commonly known as the flutter. Lying down and having a flutter. On your back with your arms by your side. Good God, where is this going? Lift your feet off the floor and move them up and down alternately. Okay. They only need to move about a foot or so. Continue until you feel a little fatigued, which isn't long, let's face it, for some of our community here. This can also be used as part of a warm-up routine. So try a flutter today, if you will. Okay, last words to you then, Heather. We're coming up to 10 o'clock on this beautiful day here in Portugal. Make sure you enjoy it for all sorts of reasons, as we've given, because it's not going to last. That could be heard quite ominously. It's not going to last.
It's not going to last.
In relation to what John said, no, I'm talking about the weather. So enjoy it then. Heather, over to you for a final word or two.
Yeah, final word is feel free to hop on our website, bootsonthegroundpt.com, and check it out. And also email me, Heather, at bootsonthegroundpt.com if you'd like an invite to our webinar. We'll let you know when that's coming up.
Your legend, that's on the screen there. You can see that, the Boots on the Ground PT.
Yep, we focus on visas and everything from the very beginning stages of I think I want to move to, you know, you're done, you're settled, you get the driver's license, you get the health number, you get the residency card. All the things are, the key things are handled. And that's how we work. Kind of soup to nuts, right?
Soup to nuts. Who doesn't like it? Soup to nuts. My morning walk was sunny but cold. Still in shorts, though. This is the Portuguesa. There's always one. Let me look out my window. Yes, I live near the Serra da Estrela, you know. Yes, a little dusting on top of the mountain. So a little bit of snow already up there at high altitude here in Portugal. Dogs are more dependent and compliant. Cats are independent, resilient, and resourceful. They can be persuaded, but never commanded. That's a lovely way of looking at it as well. My neighbor in Illinois used to walk his cat on a leash until my lab came out to say hello. Then it all went horribly wrong. The cat was then all asses and elbows, hissing and screaming. Yes, that can happen at any time, can't it, with a cat? Is there more than one João Ernesto? I like a João Ernesto of the South. I don't think so. I would like to say there's only one João Ernesto, like we're at a football match. One João Ernesto. There's only one João Ernesto. I roll over on my back. I kick my feet once. I feel fatigue. I take a nap. Well, whatever works. It's a shame, Munson. Oh, on this ominous note, I believe we almost got 300 days of sunshine. Oh, no, the project began on the 1st of October, I believe, the Portuguese. Don't get like that. Let's not get all sort of US election about this. Let's keep it civil. And let's look at the long term here. Let's look at the big picture of the Portuguese. I'm not having it. Right. Thank you, Heather. Says Squire of the Shires. Thanks for you there. And obrigado from Squire of the Shires.
Thank you. Shay says bye.
All right. Ciao, ciao, everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy little bits of Madeira here. Thanks, Heather. Jumper dust for you. And a round of applause.
Ciao.
And off we go. Have a great day. Ciao, ciao.
Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show at GMP. Hey, Gumpers.